just not talk.
Okay. And so I have 4 sessions on Saturdays because there were so many people registered that I felt the need to split it up into smaller sessions. So I record each one, and I select one of the recordings to put on YouTube each day. If at any time you aren't comfortable with the fact that the session was recorded for whatever reason, just send me an email and tell me that, and I can put a different one online or something. Don't want to, sorry, I gotta let the cat out. Don't want to put anybody on the spot. I just try to put them online because they can be useful for other people. And there's also just like a bit of like self-marketing, like I'm doing this thing. I should tell people that I'm doing this thing because maybe someone wants to hire me to do this thing at some point. And you know, because of the stupid computers, we are all in marketing now, and that's just our life. I'm super negative about that because I totally fucking hate it. Like, I just hate it so bad. It's just so annoying. Like, I want to just like teach people about things that we both like and like do my stuff. And nope, you're an advertiser. Everyone's an advertiser. So yeah, that's why I record it. So I have a couple of small announcements. One, in conversation with one of my helpful friends, student, TA person, he was saying that I should say much more about flashcards, and so I will. Flashcards are incredibly useful. I've already encouraged you to use them, and I've tried to make it as easy as possible for you to use them. So they're here in your supplementary materials. There's a deck of sentences. There's the raw data for all the lambda vocabulary. There's an Anki deck, a Quizlet deck, and a memorized deck. So there's very many, there are many ways for you to get your flashcards and do that. And it's really, really hard to convey if you haven't experienced it yet. But if you take a language class and study all the vocabulary with the flashcards and then go try to do the exercises, you will have a completely different experience from someone who does not learn the vocabulary first. The nature of the task changes entirely. The experience changes so utterly that they can't even be called the same thing. If you do all the flashcards first, the experience of reading the practice sentences is like solving a puzzle. It's this really pleasant, like really light intellectual task. If you don't learn the vocabulary and you have to either try to remember things that you've seen once or you have to look things up, it becomes intellectual heavy lifting. It becomes work. So by doing the little bit of work of doing the flashcards in your free time, you actually create a later situation in which you come to the exercises and it's just the most pleasant thing it could possibly be, as opposed to feeling like work. So I ask you to trust me on that. I can't guarantee that your experience will be the same, but many, many people say this. Give it a try for at least a week and see how that works out for you. Again, I am happy to get you access to flashcards, however necessary. The other thing that I wanted to tell you all is it's a really good idea to use Discord for questions. You're always welcome to contact me in whatever way you choose. I will eventually answer you regardless of how you reach out. But it just depends on when I see it and what I'm able to respond to. So my email inbox is filled with, I'm a postdoc at ISOL, which is part of NYU. And we have a number of ISOL library projects that I work on. I'm kind of a one-man band web development team for the ISOL library. So it's full of emails of you know, relating to dozens of projects. It's full of my research and paper writing. It has also conversations about my fiction writing, and then all the spam and all the other stuff I get. So if you email me, I will always respond to you, but I might not always respond to you quickly. If you post something on Discord, and I'm going to copy the link, you can see the link right there. Anybody who's watching the YouTube video can sneak in with the link if they want to. If you post something in Discord, it's pretty likely that someone besides me will respond to you first. But I always read through all of those, and I interject my opinion when I think it's going to be useful. So That's pretty much the same as asking me, except you'll get an answer almost right away, and you'll get to have a conversation with your fellow students and all that kind of good stuff. Okay, so it's another announcement. And then the very last announcement is that sometime this afternoon, I will stream myself playing Assassin's Creed Origins, and I will talk about all the ancient Egyptian shit in there, and I will answer questions that people ask me in the chat. I'll post a link on Discord when I start doing that. Will probably be sometime around this afternoon, say 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern time. I'm not picking a definite time because it's Saturday afternoon and I'm kind of lazy and I don't want to be like, require myself to be somewhere at a certain time. But I'll do that later and I'll post a link in the Discord. So if that's something you're interested in, look at your notifications, come ask me questions. Okay, so announcements done in a record 10 minutes. We're ready to get started reading. It looks like we have 5 people answering questions. There are 49 questions, so everyone's gonna get about 10. I'll just grab a chunk of 5 and start calling on people. Johnny, do you wanna read the first 5?
Sure, yeah, definitely. Number 1 is Ensa and I have behind the students for that one.
Behind the students?
I'm sorry, I have behind his students. Sorry,
behind his students. Good.
I wasn't even reading what I wrote. The next one is Enahram Pale Joyce. And I have for that in the presence of their masters.
Yes, in the presence of their. I said yes before we were totally finished. Actually, there's one minor error to correct.
Of their master?
Yeah, singular, right?
Gotcha, yep.
And not to pick on you, Johnny, but you probably made it plural because of the word there, right? And this was what I was trying to warn you all about last time. Like I did this for months. Every new student does this forever. It's really confusing where the different features go because they're stuck in the middle in Coptic, and we're so used to them being at the front in English. We say there, and it's like, okay, third person plural, and then Lord, okay, masculine singular. And then when you do it with Coptic, they move around, and so we just have a tendency to just like blur them and put them in the wrong place. And I think that's probably what just happened there. So it's an excellent example of that stumbling block. Okay, yeah.
Cool. And then for the next one, I have Hiram Peftapos, or Peftapos, sorry. And that would be at the entrance of his tomb.
Good.
Cool.
At the entrance of his tomb.
Cool. And then the next one is Mentefsheri, and I have with his sister.
Close.
Sisters no, I'm sorry, her sister.
It's not her, it's Tef, his. So you got the singular and the his part right. The only part that you've got wrong is whether shere means sister or not.
Oh, it must be brother. Well, is it brother?
Brother is son. Sister is sone.
Oh, gotcha. Daughter, I believe. Daughter.
That's
sorry about that. Yeah.
No worries.
Good to know. And then the next one is let's see here, number 5, Ensa Pesheri, and that would be with her son.
Yeah, not with, Insa.
Or behind, I'm sorry, behind her son.
Yeah, behind, after, except. It can mean a lot of things, but I don't think with is the intended one. I just want to highlight one thing that just happened that I think is really interesting. So you misremembered shere as meaning daughter, or sorry, as meaning sister instead of daughter. That I don't consider that to be a mistake. So you started off with no associated meaning with this word, and you narrowed it down to female family member, right? And that's how our brains learn languages. So a lot of language teachers that I've had will, we're very detail loving people, and will often impose that onto our students and say like, we'll say things like, no, the answer sister is wrong. The right answer is daughter. I don't see it that way. The answer sister is 99% correct. because it is way closer to the correct meaning than anything else you could have said. And there are an infinite number of things you could have said instead. The way we learn language is like painting a landscape. It's not like painting a fresco. You don't sit down and pick a corner and get every detail right, and then move to the next square in the grid and get every detail. You rough in the whole scene, and then you gradually refine the details over time. And that's exactly what you've done with the word share. So that is an almost exactly right answer.
Oh, right on. Thanks, man.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so we're gonna go to Tyler.
How y'all doing? Number 6, Anachrum Peochois.
I think you might have
And
written
that
the
means
Coptic. I think you might have written the Coptic down incorrectly.
Pen
see some-
choice.
Yeah.
Sorry. And that's before our master.
Yep.
Or in
Good.
front of our master. Number 7, He Teo Ecclesia, meaning on their church.
On their church. Good.
Number 8, Et ve petentime, meaning for y'all's village.
Yeah. For y'all's village.
About.
About. Yeah. So for.
Yeah. Sorry,
for
I'm
could
thinking,
be right too.
Yeah.
Just depends on the context that it's in. Yeah.
I'm thinking por, which is a bad word to try to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Number 9.
They'll throw it off.
Hintopolis, in your city.
Yeah.
Feminine.
And when you say your, yeah, you're talking to a woman. Good.
And number 10, Himpe Cosmos, meaning in this world.
Yeah. Or also, I say this all the time, and I say it over and over. You can translate markedly Greek words without translating them
Cosmos.
to kind of get the effect of how this would sound to a Coptic speaker. Yeah, in this cosmos. Cosmos. I'm saying it weird now because I'm overthinking it. In this cosmos. Yeah. Like the Carl Sagan show. Cosmos. Okay. Number 11 through 15. Sarah, do you want to take these?
Sure. Min pe ahrip, pe ahrip.
Yeah, Arep. I'd probably say Arep, but yeah, it's a weird one.
There's not his wine.
So there are 2 possible meanings of the word men. One is there is not, and there's another meaning that is a preposition.
With?
Yeah, and that's probably the one we want here.
So with his wine?
And it's not his because it's not pef erep, it's pei erep.
With this wine?
That's right, with this wine. Good.
I noticed. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just going to say, I noticed Lambden puts a dash between the men if it's like an adverb as opposed to a preposition. So that's a little hint. Sorry.
Oh gosh, that's exactly the opposite way I would do it, to be honest. Let me find this in the exercises and see how he does it. I think I probably purposely didn't put that because I looked at it and thought, oh my gosh, that's exactly the opposite of what I would think is correct. Oh, sorry, I'm in lesson 5. Let me go back to lesson 4. So it's like A11 and A8. Yeah, so he doesn't put it here because it's not that men. And then here, men erep impema, he puts it because it's the verboid thing that. So, okay, yeah, that's a clue. He'll mark it with a dash. Real texts don't have those dashes in them. And also, in this case, men doesn't have its own independent stress. It actually is prefixed to the word. The only thing that's stressed here is the eta in eta, men pe eta, right? In this case, the men actually probably does sometimes have its own independent stress. So this is where I would want to put a dash because they're really one word. And this is where I would not want to put a dash because they're not necessarily one word with one stress. So yeah, so there you go. I just made that way more complicated. I'm sorry. But we got there. Sarah, do you want to do 12?
Sure. Min Nefsenu?
I'll probably say sneu.
Sneu?
Yeah.
With his brothers?
Yeah, good. With his brothers. Excellent.
Etbe tensione? Because of our sister?
Good. Yeah.
Him Pekay?
Yep.
In the other house?
Good. Yeah.
Hen Kema? In another place?
Yeah. This is a really stupid thing, but there's a town called Kima that's like an hour south of here, and I always think of it as this word. That's not even my worst, dorkiest one. The worst one is there's this type of soy sauce that's called like choy. Oh, this, I really shouldn't even tell you guys about this. This is so stupid. It's called choy, and it's written exactly like this. And I read it as Seiyu every single time. And yeah, if I were doing it on purpose, people would be like, stop doing that. And that would be fair. I'm really not doing it on purpose. And people are still like, dude, stop doing that. It's just so bad. Anyway.
You can't control it. That's multilingual life.
I know. It's just like my brain is always thinking about other languages, and most of the time it's thinking about Coptic because I have this weird obsession, and it comes out and it's embarrassing, but this is just part of it, you know. Okay, Christian, do you want to do these 5? Where'd he go? Is he here?
Sure.
Yeah.
Nentole nenyote. The commandments of our fathers, our ancestors.
Good. Yeah.
Pran Mpayot, the name of my father.
Good. Pran Mpayot.
Bra Mpeke, the door of your house.
Yeah.
Bra Mpke,
Imke. Imke. Imke.
Mke. Bra Mke, the door of the other house.
Yeah. So obviously Lambden is trying to draw your attention to how similar these might appear. He's doing this thing. Lambden was a wonderful guy. He passed away recently, but you know, people only have nice things to say about him ever. And he wasn't one of these like hard ass language teachers that's like, no, it's the other way, so it has to be this. But this is a good opportunity to see the difference between these two. The real ugly truth of Coptic is that if I saw either one of these sentences in a real text, I would just take for granted that it could have either meaning, because Coptic is really not that precise about spelling and orthography. And it's really the consonants that matter, and the vowels just kind of float around in between them. But he wants you to mark a clear distinction there for now, so you did. So well done.
And then Edwin and Nore, about or for our sins.
Sorry. Kitty cat. Yeah, because of our sins, maybe. It could be explaining like why something happened. Hang on, I'll be right back.
Cat is punishing him for his sin.
My sins with this cat, are you kidding? This is the most spoiled. She was bringing this.
What is that?
It's like a little, it's called a Cat Dancer 301.
Oh,
you can get that on Amazon. She has 3 or 4 of them. And she likes to like drag it by the cord and like drag the stick up and down the stairs so that it makes a bunch of noise so that someone will play with her. Yeah, that's what was happening out there. Okay, so because of our sins. Yeah, that cat is not mistreated. Oh my gosh. Okay, and Genial, do you want to take the next 5?
I can read, but the vocabulary is still behind me.
No, that's okay. I can help you out with the vocabulary.
Hachtem penye. Sorry, penei.
Good. Hatem pen a. And hatem means like near, and a means house.
So next one.
Wait. We still don't have the translation. I'm giving you part of it. I'm giving you hatem and a, but if that's not enough,
Okay. No.
that's okay. Just tell me.
And our house, the next thing.
Yeah. Our house, and then so like hatem pen a is like near our house. Okay.
Han wairene.
Good.
And eirene, like peace in Greek.
Yep. That's it. That's exactly what it is.
And hen should be
In.
plural.
It can be the indefinite plural, or it can be a preposition that just means in, and they're separate words. This is the one that means in.
Okay, just in. And just in peace and o is indefinite article.
That's right.
Okay. Yay.
Yeah, you're doing fine. Just put them all together. Like you have all the parts in a piece.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Nahram Penepiscospos. No.
Yeah.
Ben Episcopos.
Good.
Okay. Episcopos, bishop.
Episcopos.
From
Yeah,
Greek,
good.
from Greek. And then Ben should be, let me see. I don't know. Let me have a look at it. Also, hour as
Yep.
in 6. And I don't know the other. It's
In Nachrim is like in the presence of.
in the presence of our bishop.
Good. Yeah.
Tmao and Jesus, the mother of Jesus.
Good. Yeah. Nailed it. The mother of Jesus.
Perip nemonakos. So, or maybe nemonakos. So
Yeah, I think it is Monacos, but you know.
yeah.
Either
So
way.
again, monk from Greek.
Mm-hmm. Nei Monacos.
Don't, no idea.
So pei Monacos would be this monk. Nei Monacos is these monks. So that's the plural demonstrative. And weirdly enough, in Coptic, Monacos does not change for the plural. It doesn't use the Greek plural. So it's these monks. What about Arep? What does Arep mean?
Trying to think, but nothing comes.
It's wine.
Okay, we saw that prior.
Yeah, that's okay though. It takes, I mean, that's why I always bring up flashcards. it takes a lot of repetition to learn vocabulary. That's why flashcards work so well. You just have to see the word over and over before it sticks. It's just how our brains work.
At least I can count on the Greek vocabulary.
Yeah, that helps. So what do you have for this whole thing? Herep in mnemonikos.
The wine of the monks.
Yes, absolutely correct. The wine of the monks. Great job. I know that probably felt a little difficult to you because it's also new, but you did a fine job with that. So yeah.
No, I'm
Keep
fine.
doing what okay, good. Keep doing what you're doing. So we're going back. Johnny, do you want to do the next 5?
Sure thing. Let's see here. So, okay. Okay, so Pnub and Peojois, and I have the gold of their master.
Yeah, good.
Cool. 12. Pran and Tit and Mai. Pran and Tit and Ma'au.
Mao, yeah.
Someone sounds like a cat, you know?
Yeah, the word for cat is actually emu.
Oh,
But
nice.
earlier it was something like Mao.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. So I have for that the name of our mother.
Not our, very close.
Okay. Oh yeah. Of your mother.
Yeah, your plural.
Plural, right? Yeah. Cool.
But I would, where I would say y'all's, the name of y'all's mother.
Gotcha. Yeah. Cool. And then let's see, 13. Haten Teklasia.
Tech. Try that one again.
Tech Ecclesia. Or
There
do
we
they
go.
do?
2x.
Or do they? Okay, cool. Because I know in Greek when you have like 2 K's together, like one of them becomes an N. So I didn't know if like Coptic respects that or not.
Oh, is it ecclesia? Tech ecclesia. I don't know. That's a good question. I always thought that it was ecclesia because that's the way I've always heard it, but I have not examined that belief critically.
Cool. All right. Well, something to maybe write a paper on someday. So I have for that one, beside your church. Or, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Beside your church. Cool. And that would be masculine, I believe, on that one.
Yes, beside your masculine. Beside your church speaking to a man.
Cool. Okay. Cool. And then 14. Haten Netme. Or is that Neatme? Sometimes it turns into an E.
Yeah, the epsilon iota turns into an E in every single case except this one.
Okay, gotcha. Nice. Yeah, I think he mentioned that in the introduction. So, okay, Haten Nitme would be beside these churches.
Not churches.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was hung up on the last one. Beside these villages.
Good. Yeah, beside these villages. And notice that we're using the irregular plural still.
Yeah.
But just with nay instead of nah.
Yeah, like I said, those like the demonstratives and everything really help out.
I mean, they're yeah, it's not what am I trying to say? It's not a bonus. It's not a cheat. They are carrying that meaning on purpose. That's how the language works.
Yeah, it almost feels like when it gets divided off the word, it's just unnatural. It's like artificial. It almost feels like what is being done for grammar purposes, you know?
Yeah.
But
yeah, it feels like when I say, you know, your plural, right? It
Yeah.
feels like that very marked artificial speech. And that's what Egyptian did.
Yeah.
It was probably being spoken by a lot of foreigners, I would guess. And that does have an effect on how languages evolve. So
Definitely.
yeah.
Cool. Number 15, Ha Nunobe. I have under your sins.
Yeah,
Cool.
and you're when speaking to a lady.
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, great job, Johnny. Tyler, do you want to take 5 more?
Sure. Number 16, monetum petime, meaning and those of the village.
Good. Yeah.
Oh, thank that. That was the one I spent the most time on.
Yeah.
Number
That's what it is.
Yeah, number 17, te epistoli te Paulos, the other letter of Paul.
Not other.
This letter of Paul.
Good. Yeah, this letter of
from
Paul.
Sorry.
And we had a question in Discord about why we use inte here instead of n. And the reason, according to Lambden, is that it's because we use pe and te. So te epistole inte Paulos versus tepistole Paulos, according to the rule we're given. That's not exactly the whole story, but let's go with it for now.
Number 18, pechoi unte penchoes, meaning this boat of our master.
Yeah, this boat of our master.
Number 19, hun tagora itipolis, meaning in the agora of the city.
Yeah, good. And yeah, oh, did you just translate it, agora?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, nice. No, I'm a big fan.
Oh,
Like
right.
if this were an exam, if a student wrote in the agora of the polis, I would be like 100%. Yes, that's how it would sound to a Coptic speaker to hear this sentence. These are markedly Greek words, and they didn't lose their Greekness. And one more.
Number penchois hipchoi an, and that is our master does not have a boat. Or no, it's not on a boat. I'm sorry.
Is not on.
Not on a boat. On the boat.
Right. Our master is not on the boat. Good. Yeah. I was about to start correcting you, and then you caught it and fixed it. So
I caught up to my notes. I was scrolling to see.
Yeah, it goes by kind of fast. I always try to rush these just because I'm so afraid of running out of time. Sarah, do you want to do 5 more?
I will try. Min herep. Min erep me pema. The wine is not of this place.
Huh. Yes, not wrong, but try to give me a translation that more literally reflects the Coptic. So men erep, just that part. What would that mean? Men erep.
There's no wine.
Yep. And then impema, that part by itself.
Of the place?
Yeah, it could mean of the place or in the place or whatever. Okay.
So there's no
now,
wine here?
Yeah, there's no wine here. Okay, great. Good job.
Oen? Oi, how? Hidden? Teglesia? There is not something in this church. There is not.
Uhela means hela, and hela actually literally means big Syrian etymologically, but it means old man.
Okay, so there's not an old man in the church?
Oh, but there is. When uhela.
There is an old man in the church?
Yeah, exactly. It's the opposite of, if we said men hela here in Teklesia, it would be there's not an old man in front of the church. When uhela here in Teklesia is there is an old man in front of the church. Good job.
Min era irane
Yeah.
him Picosmos. There is not there's not peace in the world.
Yeah. In the world? In what world? In Pei Cosmos.
In this world.
Yeah. Yeah. And like all the other examples, if you translated this, there is no Irini in this cosmos, I would say correct answer. Yeah.
Paiwait min tamai him pay.
Good. So I'm going to redo the pronunciation of those words in my own way. Payot. So I would treat this as just a Y sound, right? Epsilon iota go together. And then in this one, it's ma'u. And I know it's written really weirdly, but the Y looking letter makes an U sound, and then the double A makes the A glottal stop, or A glottal stop A, ma'u. Yeah, so payot min tama'u impei.
Wait. The father
Yes.
is not in my mother's house, or my
father. Okay, so you're taking the men and you're reading it like this men. It's a different men. It's a men that means with. So payot men tamao is just
father with the mother.
Yeah.
Is in the house.
Yes.
So the father and the mother are in the house.
Right, and it's not just the father and the mother, it's payot then tamao.
My father with my mother is in the house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Owen Hyonik Mamau. There is
I'll give you a hint. This is the word that you want. Yeah.
There is some bread in that place.
Yeah, there is some bread there. And just as a minor note, this imau is kind of like less full in meaning than the way you translated it. You translated it correctly, but in Coptic sentences, as a rule, they throw in imau a lot. And it doesn't carry the full weight of like a specific place. So when henoik imau is kind of just, there's some bread, right? Literally, there is some bread there, but the there is not really as specific as it sounds in English. Okay, good job, Sarah. I'm gonna give some more to Christian. Christian, do you wanna get these ones?
Sure. Benson Hipekron Talasa. Our brother is on the shore of the ocean, of the sea.
Good.
Win Ujoy Hachtem Pekra. There is a boat near the shore.
Good.
By the shore. Win Hello Hiram Bra Mpepe. There is a old woman at the door of his house.
Yeah, hit him at the door of his house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Snow Hijim Bill. Our brothers are upon or on the mountain.
Good.
Buson tapos an. Speaking to a woman, your brother is not in the tomb.
Good. Your brother is not in the tomb. Your brother is not in the tapos.
In the tapos. Petnjod hi pajoi. Y'all's father is on my boat.
I like the anger. Y'all's father is on my boat.
Thank y'all for saying y'all's so much. As a Southerner, that is very, very welcoming and pleasing.
It's so immediate. Yeah. Y'all's father is on my, and it's also, you can hear this being said, like somebody brought their like slightly senile grandfather to the lake party. It's like, y'all's father is on my boat. Made it so real. Okay, and let's see, how many do we have left? I'm gonna change this so we can actually see them all together. And Hrenyao, we have 3 left. Do you wanna try to work through them?
Off we go.
Okay.
Bentoi han denaro. But no idea what it means.
Oh, okay. That was really good pronunciation, actually. So joy means boat. So it's penjoy. What is penjoy?
Our boat?
Our boat. Very good. And emro means harbor. So what is temro?
Dun. No, sorry.
The harbor.
The harbor. So our boat is in the harbor.
Our boat is in the harbor. Yeah, great job. Okay. You want to do another one?
Yep. Peftom hipone it mau.
You know, jotme?
I should.
No, you shouldn't. You're just learning it just now. It means book.
Yeah, but it was in one of the first lessons. That's why.
It's okay. Renyao, these things they take a lot of time, and that's just the nature of learning this stuff. There is no should know it. It's you'll know it when you see it enough times. That's all there is to it. So pef jotme.
So his book.
Mm-hmm. And then one means stone. So pone means
The stone.
yeah, and he pone.
Under the stone?
Close. That would be ha pone. He means upon.
Upon the stone. Okay.
Yeah. So just do this part. Pef jotme hi pone.
So his book is upon the stone?
Yeah, and I'll just tell you etimal. It was in one of the lessons we've done before, but it's kind of weird, so I'm just going to explain it. Et is the relative pronoun. It means which, and emal means there. So this is altogether pone etimal is the stone which is there. And then this is idiomatic in Coptic. It's a way that Coptic says that stone over there. It's like the far demonstrative. So Coptic literally says the stone which is there, that there stone. So Hefjome, Hipone Etemal, altogether is his book is upon that stone. Okay, and we have one more.
Last one.
Last one.
Manhye and ma it mau.
Okay, so I'm going to start you off with this part, Pama Etemal. What is ma? Place. So Pama Etemal.
That place over there.
Yep, good. Okay, so and then Pama Etemal is in that place over there. And then let's work on men hie. Do you know the word hie? Menhie means road or way.
Again, one of the first lessons.
That's okay.
So there is no road to that place over there.
Yeah, good. Actually, yeah, that it could mean that. It probably means there's no road in that place over there, but we haven't actually seen this yet in our lessons. The way Coptic would say there's no road to that place would be with the preposition e, menhie epma etemau. But we haven't learned that yet. That's a new thing. So yeah, your translation is good. Okay, does that all make sense? I feel like you're doing a really good job with this, Pranyal. You're being a little hard on yourself, but there's no need for that. You're doing just fine. Takes time to learn this stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna go through the lesson really quick. There's just a couple little things. Oh, do I have a question? No, I heard a little sound that sounded like somebody starting off to ask a question. Okay, couple little bite-sized things in here. The main thing is the copula. So copula, this word here, is a linguistic term. It means the thing that joins things together. It's really whatever the grammatical thing is that makes a nominal sentence. So a nominal sentence is one of these cases where we say X is Y. He is my father, right? In English, the copula is this verb is. In Afro-Asiatic languages, there is normally not a copular verb. They form the copula with some other method of construction. So in modern Arabic and Hebrew, the way you say he is my father is to say he, my father. And that pronoun and the construction itself actually provides the copula. In Coptic, by contrast, the copula actually is a pronoun. It's this special little pronoun that is an abbreviated form of the demonstrative adjectives that you've already seen. So it's like pay or pi, it's an abbreviated form of those. So the way Coptic says, he is my father, is to say, payot pe, my father, this guy. She is my mother, tamaote, my mother, this lady. Nasneuna, they are my brothers, these. And then the same thing with the indefinite noun, uromepe, he is a man this. Usimete, a woman, this means she is a woman. And henajeune, some boats, these, they are some boats. And that's how that works. Lambden gives you a bunch more extraneous information that I think is you're perfectly capable of figuring out once you see a few examples, but obviously go back and read the lesson after we're done. One quick thing, the copular pronoun can push its way to the front of the sentence. So Peshere Impwave means the son of the priest. Peshere Pe Impwave means he is the son of the priest, right? The pe, instead of being at the end, has pushed its way to the front of the sentence. And it can kind of go both ways. There's not really strict rules about this as far as I know. So usah pe payot, my father is a teacher. Payot usah pe, my father is a teacher. They mean the same thing. There's a little bit different emphasis. So like, you can imagine this sentence would be the response to someone saying, your mother is a teacher? No, payot usah pe, my father is a teacher, right? Whichever one you put first kind of changes the emphasis or the nuance a little bit. But yeah. The way you negate this is with M on, just like in other cases. So payot pe, he is my father, becomes M payot an pe, he is not my father. And you can even sometimes omit the M or the N and just say payot an pe, he is not my father. So it's really the on that does the work there. And then
Question?
Yeah.
So both examples, usah payot and payot usah pe, in both cases, pa follows usah. Would it be grammatical to say usah payot pa, or would it mean actually that the teacher is my father?
It's a bit of a weird sentence, honestly, but it's not totally ungrammatical. It would mean, it's like saying a teacher is my father. It's like, it's kind of ambiguous, but it still really means my father is a teacher. You could have a case where it was like, someone says, oh, your father is a plumber? No, my father is a teacher. You would probably still say usah pe payot. Yeah. I think what you're asking is whether the presence of the copula determines what is the predicate and what is the subject. The answer is, strictly speaking, no. The longer answer is kinda. There's a slight correlation between the predicate and the copular pronoun, and it works like, I could say usahpe, he is a teacher, and then if I say payot usahpe, it's like saying he is a teacher, namely my father. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay, I'm sorry I can't give you a really solid answer, but Coptic is not a really solid language. Whatever rule I give you, the first example we see is going to break it, I promise. Christian, am I wrong here? I see you smirking.
Oh, no.
I tell y'all all these things, and then we do a reading class and we read the first sentence and it like breaks every single rule I've told you. Coptic is just a very fuzzy, free form, freewheeling kind of language.
Yeah.
Okay, the last thing, I hope that answered your question, Frenyal. I'm sorry if it wasn't a great answer, but there aren't great answers to those kind of questions. The last thing is,
we'll have to look at it. The example just following the ones I wrote, I read, seem to go the opposite way with the pero me pensar.
yeah, and we can look at some real examples. This isn't very good to search because it's in a PDF, and PDF search sucks. If anyone with any connection to Adobe is listening to this, for God's sakes, please work on your search. Let me work on it even. Honestly, it's so bad. But we can try to find some Pez. Yeah, that's never gonna work. And there's like
Search
no way.
is so hard to program.
I know.
would never touch that.
I know. I've written a lot of searches myself. I know how terrible they are. So I try not to be too hard on the poor Adobe coders. But Jesus, bad. Anyway, so we could go through and find a bunch of examples. Much better. I have TXT versions of these Coptic texts. I could open them with a real text editor and use like regular expressions to find a bunch of examples, and then we could properly test it. That's an interesting question that we can come back to. With predicates or subject, I think it's probably the case that pe is with the ream as opposed to the theme, which is actually different from predicate and subject. But that's another conversation that we don't have time for right now. Unfortunately, the only time that we have is left for me to say that ete is the relative pronoun in nominal sentences. So you've seen the relative pronoun et. We saw it in our exercises, etimao, that which is there. Et with the et is the relative pronoun for adverbial clauses and for verbal clauses. For noun clauses, ete is the relative pronoun. All that you really need to know right now is that ete and et are essentially the same word. There's a grammatical distinction. It won't actually affect your translation. So, let's see a few examples before you start trying to compose in Coptic, and you don't really have to worry about it right now. So, prome usahpe, the man is a teacher. Prome ete usahpe, the man who is a teacher. And then prome ete en usah anpe, the man who is not a teacher. That's how that works. And then the last thing, paitainai. This is just another set of demonstratives. It basically also just means this. It's slightly nearer than paitene. I really can't tell you what the difference is between those two. It's just it's a very subtle difference in nuance. So paitainai, new demonstratives, they look exactly like the old demonstratives, which are paitene. And that's pretty much it. Actually, I think the difference, now that I'm realizing it, is that these can carry independent stress, whereas pay could not carry independent stress. It has to be prefixed to a noun. That might actually be the real difference, but I'm just coming up with that off the top of my head. So, so yeah, go reread the lesson. We went through it very quickly, as we always do. Does anyone have any questions before we go? Come see my Assassin's Creed live stream and ask me questions.
One quick question. How do you say goodbye in Coptic?
How do you say Ujai?
Ujai. Okay.
Ujai is just like be well, but I think that's the standard valediction, which
Cool.
is, I use the word valediction entirely literally in that case. So
And is Neth
I know someone's smiling. I see Tyler smiling.
I can't get the Latin out my head. It's broken me.
Yeah, it ruins your life, this Latin.
It does. It's a terrible thing.
Yeah, so Ujai.
Ujai.